My name is Christopher Samuels. I'm basically a behavioral specialist. I play pro ball overseas. I train with some NBA players. I did the Navy for a few years, stationed in Sasebo, Japan. So I did a few tours out there. Went to like Indonesia, Australia, Thailand, China, all over there. Played ball out there with them too. Went to college a few different places. Went to Cincy. I went to West Palm. Currently looking into like buying some property over in Texas,
Oh,
and I'm getting into government contracting. So I got my hands in a few pots,
I
and
like that. I
now I'm
like that.
modeling for the past like 6 7 years. So I'm still like kind of new to that. Been doing a lot of movies, meet a lot of celebrities. Sometimes I hang out with them, or we just like vibe out or something. So I've been a little bit of everywhere. Been doing a lot of different things. So I've been blessed. I'm truly blessed by the man above to do some of these things. So no complaints. No complaints.
See,
So
I like to hear stuff like that. I like to see people actually doing their things, chasing their dreams and putting in that work. We need to start shedding the light on people that do stuff like that because we support the negative. People support the negative narrative, and we should start supporting the positive and
yeah,
start giving people their flowers, whether they rich. Whether they, the 1%ers, whether they regular everyday people, we got to show some love to the people that's putting in that work and that's grinding. You feel me?
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that I like to hear.
I
So I'm
appreciate.
gonna hit you with the first question, right? The first question is, what type of relationship are you trying to build if you want to be in a relationship with someone?
Type of relationship I'm trying to build. Well, the key foundation, like my foundational principles, is simple. I mean, it's just basically trust. You have to. Everyone talks about communication, but everyone has a different style of communication. So saying to be able to communicate is one thing, but to be able to adhere to what someone is communicating and understand it is different. I have a mentor, my pastor, my bishop. Shout outs to Courtney Bradley, my leader. He's always taught me that those foundational principles, like someone you can hear, that's like you hearing somebody, but are they really listening? And then how are they listening? Like listening communication styles is one thing, but for me, it all starts with trust. I want to build a type of relationship with somebody that I can feel that I can be myself. I have to be. If I could be if we could always be ourselves around each other, that's key. That's big. That's big because
Right.
as a presentation of something else, or you always meet that first person for the first 3 months, and then something changed. They be themselves. Yeah, I need it right off the jump. I need like, well, what's happening? What we doing? Who are you? And don't be ashamed of that. There's on me. I'm judgment free zone. Like I'm a regular guy. I'm regular all day. So I mean, there's nobody to impress. You know what I mean? So
So I got a question, and this is off the script.
yeah.
How does one build trust with somebody? If somebody's trying to build trust with somebody, how do you build that in a relationship?
Well, trust it. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe it stems from how one is raised. So like let's say because we can say oh this and this, but if your atmosphere and how you were brought up doesn't connect to what you saw. Like, so if I grew up, I'm from Queens. I'm in Queens right now. But I was born in the Bronx, raised in Brooklyn for 8 years, Queens 8 years. So I've been to almost every single borough. Um, and how I grew up, like I grew around like a family that like trusted each other, but then friends, they in their family, they betrayed each other. Like they didn't trust me for a little while. Like they needed consistency to see that somebody was truly there for them, good or bad. So it's like it's all about your experience on how you were brought up, and then
Mhm.
someone consistent. And then what happens is, especially in this generation, is if you built that trust and I do something that reminds you of your past and you didn't deal with that, then you consider me in that same category when I've been.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely
It's
true.
tough because people do that all the time, especially generation, all independent. Talk about me. I got self care, all this other stuff, but you tend to forget there's a consistency that happens because you're gonna get hurt. You know what I mean? Like I'm imperfect. Your partner that you're looking for is gonna be imperfect. So it's about is that person are you truly seeing yourself with that person? And if you are, can you take their good and bad? Don't just leave first red flag you see and then that's it and then hop on, oh, there's more men. No, you need to heal. Like you need to get through what you need to get through because it's gonna be worth it. Like, is this person worth it to go through that? So it's just about whether you trust yourself first enough to trust someone else. And
Yeah,
this
I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you. That is true.
yeah.
What is something that you want your partner to realize about you when it comes to family?
Oh yeah. Well, family comes first. So I just lost my dad not too long ago.
Sorry
Um,
for your loss.
Thank you. He died from cancer. My mom, battling with cancer, and had some stuff. So they, a few other my family members passed throughout these last few years. So I would want my partner to know kind of just my upbringing and how and I would want to know her upbringing. You know what I mean? Like I want to see how she reacts to her family, how she, does she have daddy issues, mommy issues, does she listen, does she, can she be led? Because some women is like, oh, I could submit, I can allow a man to lead, but their definition of leading is according to their family's upbringing. It's not according to what they need because they need to know that this is not every relationship is their parents. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
Like not every relationship. That's a good foundation to start with, but you're your own individual too, and then you're bringing another individual. So there's components you got to kind of take into account. That person coming with their family and history, and then they have to cultivate a mindset to know, like, all right, like this is dumb. So for me, I'm a traveler. I've traveled ever since I was, what, I want to say 14. I haven't if you ask my mom, I haven't stayed home since I was 14. I chose my own high school. I lived in dorms in my own high school for basketball. Right after basketball, I went into college and to another state. Right after state, I went to the Navy, traveling 10 different countries. I mean, I've literally only been home for like 6 months when I left the military to come back home, and then I was on my own, and then I was with my brothers, and I moved around a lot. So I've never, they've trusted me in that. My mom was a traveler. She understands the mindset. I communicate. So my communication styles is might be different than what women are used to. They're like, oh, I like a man to be here, X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm not always here. Like I have goals. I wanna accomplish certain things. Can you handle that? Like how is your upbringing? So my family gives me the freedom. So I'm used to a freedom. If a woman's trying to tie me down, we probably won't work. But I understand that and I know it's okay. But can she understand that? And is that okay with her? And some women will settle and be like, yeah, yeah, I can, because you have goals, you have dreams, you have all this stuff going for you. So they're like, yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean that we match well. That's just something that,
Yeah,
but it should come within the confines of what you're truly comfortable with. You adapt within time, within knowing a person, but I wouldn't settle for someone that's just like, yeah, 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 that says yeah, yes too fast. I wouldn't go for her because she's in desperation mode. Like she sees, oh, all these things. Yeah, she doesn't even want to. It's not even about me at that point.
yeah,
It's about what you can do for the person. Supply, and everything is about supply and demand nowadays. What are you gonna do for me? A lot of my friends, a lot of my homegirls, they were just like, yeah, I need a man to give me a bag, and we gotta go out on dates, we got on dinner. You just want that for the gram. So you can go on several dates. You're not gonna use my money, my hard working money, to go out and post and do all this other stuff. People that you're not gonna see you're gonna see all these foods, but you're not gonna see the person. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna spend thousands, that which I've done before, tens of thousands of dollars on women and expensive dates just to accommodate a lifestyle that they're trying to upkeep without even getting to know the person. So it's like,
yeah. I get exactly what you're saying. You want a person that genuinely wants you for you, and then you want a person to have morals as well too. So I respect that. I definitely get that. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely,
And that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Family. What I realized recently, family. I realized that family is the foundation of everything. If you don't have that core value in you, it's hard for a person to understand how to build a strong foundation in a relationship,
yeah,
because your first example, like you said, is family. So I
yeah,
definitely agree with you on that. That's definitely true.
absolutely.
What is something that you find attractive about women?
Um, so this might seem like a generic answer, but It's I'll break down why it's true. A, a state of independence, and what I mean by that is for a woman to not always be needy. So I talked about this with my mentor recently. Like, I don't want a woman that always needs me around. Like, I, I I want her to get, like you said, goal oriented. So get your own goals. X Y Z will communicate. X Y Z will come back. But when we come back, this is us. Like, you know what, we come back with our experience, come back with ideas, and we bounce off of that each other. That's goals. That's the first foundation before you try to do all these other things and like, oh, I want this, all these things that the internet tries to get you to see. But there's a backstory behind that. So I you know I would want a woman that can speak up for herself, not afraid to speak her mind, because I don't no one wants a yes person. We think we do to a degree, because when it comes to our needs, but then after a while you tend to like not really appreciate you don't grow. You don't grow from always getting yes. You don't grow from always getting your way. And as much as I would want my way in a lot of different areas, um, I need somebody with a mind to be like, you know what, I don't think that's wise. Like, I don't think that's, and to tell me why. And if I have an attitude, you're still gonna be solid enough to be like, all right, he's having an attitude. It's okay. You know what I mean? Not be like, oh, word, is over. No, like,
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I get that. So you want basically somebody that's like, independent, and they got a strong mindset where they could understand like the boundary, your boundaries basically. It's basically like respect your space as the same way as you respect their needs and their space and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I agree, that's a healthy balance as well too. I definitely agree with that. What is something that's positive that is missing in relationships today?
something that's positive that's missing in relationships. Oh, I said it. I posted it on my IG. Um, and I believe that. That's positive. That's missing. I don't know the word for it. It's more so a sentence. It's like just mental health, like stability, like the ability to be present.
You got to
Like,
explain that. You
yeah,
got to
like
explain that. That's interesting. You got to explain that.
it's so everyone. Well, at least for the foundational, statistically speaking, everyone, make fast money, right? Or Bitcoin and all these other things. Let's get on stock market. Let's get on this. So there's a lot of instant gratification in a lot of different areas. And so when it comes to a person or your partner, you're already pre-planning. All right, the future. Let me see where this can go. Let me see how he or she talks. Now you're moving ahead, and you're not really here. Like, you might be settled in some things about you,
Hmm.
but if you're not, it's gonna show. It's gonna be like, what is this? What is that? What is that? I was like, whoa, slow down. How are you? Where are you? What happened to you? Because you're gonna give, however you. And then some people are like, they try to play it cool. Like, yeah, no. So they. I mean, like, no, they're not really present. They're with the times of whatever it is. They're oh, I be modeling. No, you don't. You just take pictures on IG. Like, I mean, and it's good to be enthusiastic about future stuff, but like, where are you currently? You know what I mean? Like, how are you present? How's your mentality? Where are you spirituality? How are you spiritually? How are you?
Yeah,
What have you
I,
done
I
physically?
agree.
You know what I mean? Like, and don't say what have you done for me, because I'm not nobody. Like, you can fool the internet and everybody else, but you can't fool yourself. You're gonna know what effort and work you put into you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. So it's a me, gimme. What have you done? What value you have? And everyone has been living past their present situation to rush to get something that they believe they don't have, when all along they have it. They are it. They just want to prove it and show it to everybody, and there's no need for that. So I believe, like, just being present. If I
How do somebody tap into being present? Because it's kind of some people would say that's kind of hard. You know what I'm saying? So how
It,
do you tap into being present?
it's always going to be hard when you're so used to if your habit. It's always going to be hard to break a habit, which means
That's
that
true.
that's which should be the first sign to be like, oh, I haven't been present like I should be. So that's good. If you acknowledge that, hear that, great. Because but you have to at least be okay with that, because what happens is, oh, I know I'm not as present as I should be, but that eagerness to like, oh, let me post, or let me do this, or let me do that, or let me see what I can get, or I'm gonna hustle to this, and then hopefully I can present it to somebody. So if you have that, like, if you, in order for you to kind of work on that, there's some people that have done it already, and you see this all the time, but not as many people have done it like they should. Get off of the internet. How is your mindset? Is that a problem for you? Can you not text for a day? Can you not, like, slow down some of the things that drives you to do, to see,
Mm-hmm.
to take that time present? Like, is this what I really want to do? Is this because you could do something for years and go in the wrong direction for many years and be like, oh, you got to keep fighting, and you'll hear these motivational quotes, keep fighting, keep pushing. You over here pursuing nursing when you should have been a chef.
That's true.
I mean,
It
and you,
happens. It happens all the time.
money you spent, like, you went this whole other route, all because you didn't take the time to listen, because you're, oh, this is good money, this is fast, this is something I can do, and then I can work on my side business or work on this, like, something like this that you're doing. Inspirational. I would support it 100% all the time,
I
because people,
appreciate that.
or this is a big thing. No matter the numbers, no matter what, this is a huge platform, and I thank you for, like, the platform to even to be able to speak.
I
It
appreciate that.
is because it makes you. It takes time to sit down and, like, and to listen and to take in and to evaluate and to hear and to not, this is technically being present as well. It's a form of being present. And when you see how present you are, and you present that to others, they'll be like, oh wow, like that. They might not tell you, but you're inspiring somebody, you're motivating somebody. And as they come to a realization of themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they'll always come back to the source, because someone was doing
That's
it.
a fact.
Check on you. What is he doing? Is he doing, I need my daily dose? Like, is he doing, because I need to be present? Like, I'm slipping, I'm trying to do all these other things, it's not working. But somebody that's present will never fail. They'll always, because you're always present.
That's a fact. You know what I noticed, which is crazy, is when you are present, you are less stressed,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm?
But when people are not present, that's when their mind is all over the place because they want instant gratification.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what people sometimes got to take a day for them. Like when I feel overwhelmed,
Hmm.
I take a day for me. Like I literally, like if it's warm outside, I go for a walk, or
Yep.
I sit by the water and just think and just relax, enjoy the vibrations, enjoy
Absolutely.
my own energy. But a
Yep.
lot of people don't do that because it's so many things in our face. So it's like I gotta grab this, I gotta grab that, this, that, and the third.
Hmm.
But we really need to be present.
Yeah.
And you absolutely right. And I ain't gonna lie. I like that. That
Oh,
you definitely said that because that's definitely needed to be heard.
I
You know what I'm
appreciate.
saying?
I
I
appreciate.
created this platform because we needed this conversation for the culture,
Yeah.
and we needed this conversation because it's about time that people need to know that we need to heal from things like for generation curses that we was going through. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's why I created that.
Uh,
Now I have another question,
mhm.
right? Based on how a woman dress, do you think that reflects on a woman mindset?
I believe it can, but I don't believe that it defines her.
Mm.
There's a difference between how someone feels and who they are that defines them. So I play basketball. I play basketball, but that's what I do. That's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So if I play basketball, but I dress like, I dress in sweats all day, you'll just be like, oh, he's like, he's whatever. You're gonna put a lot of different things, but that doesn't take away from who I am. So looks can be deceiving, right? So a
Yeah.
woman present herself well. She likes to take care of herself. That's good. But when I go to her house, or if I go to her house, or if you look in her house, it's slop clothes everywhere, rats and roaches, like everything. Like, you are outside, you have the presentation of together, but you don't have it behind the scenes. So I feel 50-50 with that. Like I believe that yes, it could reflect. Yes, it does have a represent. There is a representation of a person, but I don't believe it defines a person because it closes. What is this? It's just material. Like what is it? What I hat? I can throw this hat away. I'm still going to be the same. You might perceive me different, whether I have a haircut or not, whether I have a beard or not. You're gonna perceive me, but that's how you perceive me. Still doesn't take away my identity. And
Mm,
I can wear nothing at all and have words and wisdom. There's some homeless people that got words and wisdom and X, Y, and Z.
that's a fact.
Their situation, it doesn't reflect what they have in their mind, their situation doesn't take away from who they are as an individual. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah,
there's a thin line for me when it comes to that. I mean, there's more people that's just like one side. There's one side that's just like, oh, it's everything, and then there's other sides like, oh, it's nothing. And then for me, I feel like, well, it's a little bit. You're both kind of right. You know what I mean? So that's where I stand.
yeah, I get that. I respect your answer because that's the perfect way to answer that question. Because yeah, it's 50 and 50. It's 50-50. So you're absolutely right. I definitely appreciate you coming out to my show. And if
Yeah.
you ever would come back on again, you could definitely come back on. You know what I'm saying? Because you really blessed it. You dropped so many gems.
Thank you. Thank
You know
you.
what I'm saying? And you know what? One thing that stuck with me the most was you said be present. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? That's what I got to learn how to do because I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I be all over the place and stuff like that, and then I have moments where I feel like I'm overwhelmed. So that's the moment that I tell myself, "Nah, I gotta calm down, relax, and I gotta take a moment for myself." You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because you know what I realized? People feel guilty for being in the moment, and
Yes.
people feel guilty sitting there. How can I say treating themselves the way
Yeah.
they supposed to be treated? But you got to treat yourself first, and then take care of everything later.
Absolutely. Because they get the worries of the world take on their mind more, and some people just put themselves on the side and then they just do stuff, and then it's just like, no, 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 reverse that. You need to take care of you, and then those worries will be taken care of because you're in the state to take care of it. If you're
That's
not
a fact.
care of it, you're going to be on autopilot, working harder, and you're going to feel more weight on you. So it's like it's tough. It's tough, but being present, like taking steps to be present, will help alleviate some of the stress and the worry, and like the ability to control. Like, you know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
need to feel like we have to control this. Like, oh, I have bills, I have rent, I have cell phone, I have this, I have kids, or if they have kids, like there's so many different dynamics that take told to where they can't just tell, oh, I can't take time for myself. Yes, you can. You're taking time for yourself right now when you're talking to me. You can.
that's true.
It's just about your perspective on how you utilize each time. You can take
That's
30.
true.
Do you mean
That's true.
4 hours? You can't take 30 minutes just to like sit in silence or take a walk, or you know what I mean? Like you could do something. You can do something, and it's
That's,
just about allowing yourself that ability, the ability to do that. If you have your mind in bondage, you're always going to be in bondage. But if
that's
your
a fact.
your mind has, I have responsibilities, but I'm a responsibility, there's going to be a difference. I'm also a responsibility within the responsibilities that I have.
That's true. That's true. That's definitely true. A lot
Yeah,
of people gotta learn that sometimes you gotta take care of you. I understand you could be drowning in bills, but
yeah,
you gotta do one thing that alleviate that stress. At
yeah,
least one thing, and then you can get back into the grind and do whatever you want to do. But do one thing for yourself. I say if you don't treat yourself, I'm gonna say like this: if you don't treat yourself at least twice a month, do something for you, something like that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Absolutely.
Reward yourself for God giving you life. That's what
Facts.
you got to do.
Facts. I would
Period.
I would even say once a week. Take
Yeah.
one day out of the week, or half the day out of that week, something, because your job's going to take a good portion and you have other things to do, but you could take at least one of those days, like after work and after the kids or whoever. If you have bills, there's always going to be bills, but there's always,
Yes.
like, so there, those bills, whether you're not here or not, those bills are still going to be there. So the stress about that would take more energy. You're already doing something, so let that take care of itself. If you made a plan for that, all right, let that plan be what's going to take care of that, and know that if you're rich, you're still going to have bills. If you're poor,
Hmm.
So that's not going nowhere. So the stress about that is kind of like irrelevant, because it's gonna you're if you're doing something, and if you're planning, even if you're looking researching and trying to find a job, you're doing something.
Yes,
So don't allow what you're don't make sure that what you're doing is gonna is know have the knowing that what you're doing is gonna put that part or those parts at peace. And you're trying. That's all you could. Just you be a lot nicer to yourself. We have to be a lot nicer to ourselves. At the end of the day.
that's true. That's definitely true. Everybody in the comments is loving your answer. I'm telling you, they feel they feeling everything that you're saying because you dropping gems. I'm telling you, you got to come back on here again. We got to do this again. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Great.
definitely appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you blessing my show. This is episode number 2. I revamped this show, and you did your thing. I appreciate it. Any closing messages that you want to give to anybody that you want to give advice to or something like that? Any
Um,
closing messages?
just for well, to any and everyone that's listening. Uh, I know that everyone is saying put me first before all these other things. There's a side of that that's true, but understand that putting you first means that you're taking accountability, responsibility, and not deflecting based off of what you're working on within yourself, like not to put on no one else. You know what I mean? Like take your time. There's nothing wrong with having conversations, but just know your boundaries, set your boundaries, and stick to them at the end of the day. And that works across the board, not only in relationships but in life. Make a plan. If you have a plan with someone, if it follows through, cool. If it doesn't, understand that you still have a plan, and that plan is, if it's not with someone else, make that plan for you. Take that time. Take yourself out on a date. Take yourself.
Mm,
Like, when's the last time you done that? Like, if you do it all the time, that's great. But don't be so independent that you don't know how to be with anyone, because then that's more on you. Like, that's fine. I don't deflect, and oh, that's fine. I don't need no one. You need someone. We all need humans. We need the interaction with each other. So give yourself a break. Take your time, breathe, and just have fun with this thing called life. And just be grateful for another day. Bless you
yeah.
all.
I feel like that message was for me, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I
I'm
feel like
saying
it was for me. I definitely feel like that was for me. My
uh,
closing message is everything comes from the source, so you have to treat yourself. You understand that? So love yourself, respect yourself, and pour into your soul. You know what I'm saying? And then when you got all that energy and you got enough to give to somebody else, bless somebody too.